Okay, so now that you've set everything up, go ahead and open WinCP and connect to the server. You can actually, okay. In this thing, you can actually, in the new window here, you may want to, before you connect, hit save and save it so that you don't have to re-enter all of the information every time. And you can just do this, and you'll only have to enter the password to edit the website. So go here. I personally have a subfolder called public_HTML. If you use the web host that I use, then you will have that as well. Otherwise, there should be some sort of HTML folder. Otherwise, it's just the root directory. So go ahead and make a new file. We're going to call this index.php. Actually, no. Yeah, we're going to call it index.php. And the reason that we're calling it index.php is because we're going to be coding it in PHP and HTML. So I'm designing this series with the assumption that you don't know anything about coding, but you are able to pick up on it rather quickly, because I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm actually going to kind of go through it pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and write this out really quickly. Okay, so this is basically everything that's required for a valid page, a valid web page in PHP or HTML. They're basically the same thing in the terms of the file extension. But so yeah, let me go over this. So the HTML is made up of tags. It's a markup language. And you'll either have a long tag, which is a tag that looks something like this. Oops. It looks something like this. You'll have a tag, and then you'll have text or something, and then you'll have a closing tag. Of course, the closing tag has this / right after the greater than sign. And by greater than, I actually mean less than. And then there's short tags, which look something like this. And then the space there is optional. I like it though. And then there's the / there, but there isn't anything after this. It's just a tag in and of itself without anything specific. Tags also have the optional attributes. They could be like assigning it a width, giving it an ID so we can reference it later, things like that. And those will be attribute, and then any attribute will equal a value. So that is the basic syntax of HTML. It's pretty basic. Let me just show you what Notepad++, how it highlights the syntax. So if I put, say, width, which so let me just use some real tags so that it'll highlight it as it is. So say we make a table. You would have all the table contents inside of that, and then you could say assign a border to the table and say it's like 1 pixel or something. So just this was just to demonstrate the syntax highlighting, and that a valid attribute will turn red. An invalid one will only be black. So that's a good way to check to see if it is an attribute, if you spelt something wrong. And then the value here will be purple. Yes, also one other thing I should probably mention is that with HTML5, a short tag, like I had mentioned previously, that looks like this, the / here is not entirely, is totally optional. So one tag is meta, so let's just give it a character set. I'll explain what all of this is in depth later. But for example, this tag here, this is totally optional. It's still valid if you don't have it there. I like it there because then the text editor will recognize it and highlight it accordingly. So yeah, that's basically the entire syntax of HTML, and now all you need to do is learn all the tags, and then you can make a fairly decent site. But we'll get into that in more detail later. So one tag that is slightly abnormal is going to be the doc type declaration. That is just to declare what type of document you're going to be working with. I personally prefer to capitalize it because that's how I learned, but you don't have to. And it's different in that it is a tag with an exclamation point there, and then doc type, and then HTML. This is an HTML5 doc type. That's what we're going to be using. You shouldn't use anything else anymore. But the older ones for like HTML4 were like pages and pages long. Not really. There were a couple lines of links and stuff, but so this is just has to go at the top of your document to know, so that the browser knows what it's reading, essentially. So go ahead, and the first tag that you should know is the HTML tag. Basically, it's pretty simple. All HTML will go inside of an HTML tag. There will only be one per page. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's like an overarching thing. And then inside of that, you would have a body section, and then you'd have content. Now the body is going to hold CONTENT. So the body is basically going to hold all of your content. And then there's another section above the body, which, if you couldn't guess, is the head. This is where all of the information about the site will go. For example, you're able to encode a description that Google can read. You can encode keywords for like search engine searching. You can one thing that you should do is put a title. And this is just going to be on the if we open up our internet browser here, where it says new tab right here, that is what the title is. It will appear there. Also, it will appear in search engines as the title of the website, so make sure it makes sense. For example, we're going to go with the web, DEVELOPMENT. Sorry, I'm a really bad speller. But so yeah, that will be the title of the website, and inside of the body here is going to be all of the content. So if we go ahead and save this, you Control S or go up here and click File, Save. When you go back to WinSCP, it'll ask you for your password. Now you only have to do this once per login session, and then it'll like flash once it updates. But next time we make an edit and save it, we won't have to enter our password. It's a one-time thing. So go ahead and go to whatever domain whatever domain that is. Yeah, you know what I mean. Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and go there, and as you can see, we have a title that says Web Development, and a content, text that says content. Now, of course, this is definitely by no means a website, but it's you've got the framework for it all set up. So that will be the end of this video, and in the next video we will cover the basic HTML stuff. This was the basic. The next video will cover the basic.